Welcome to Weekend Project. I'm Laura Lynn of the Mom and Pop Quilt Shop, and we're very happy to see you here today. Today we're starting a brand new adventure, and I am really excited to partake on this. It was something that was done every 4 weeks in 2019 and 2020, and we're going to do it for 12 weeks straight, every Friday video for the next 12 weeks. And it's the Sugaridoo Quilt Along. And for the part 1 we're working on here, it's actually row 5, but it is part 1. So I know it's a little confusing, but it really is. They want to start you off with the most simplest block, I think, and this is it. So you can have a neutral backing, you can have a busy backing and neutral placements of your fabric, your colored fabrics that you got going on. I chose to have a black background, and I chose to do my colored sections very scrappy, as much as I could out of the colors that were required for each row. So we have busted our orange, which is good because it kind of coincided with our Dresden big rainbow project we're doing on Saturdays at 1 p.m. Eastern. That's our live stream. That's live. You can come in and chat with us and hang out and share your projects and just share what you got going on, and we love to have you there, trust me. And so we're just going to continue working on this beautiful little row here. So I have some already set out, so you can see how I really am trying to bust my orange scraps and stash. Okay, and the best thing to do, if you want to do it in this way, is be able to, when you're cutting your fabrics, making sure you still have enough length of your scrappy fabrics to continue out to be like a width of fabric. So you need like 42 inches. So be able to piece them together to make the amount that you need to be able to cut, and so on and so forth. So we need to make one more orange block and then put our gray accent block together. So this was, I had sewn all with the fabric together. There were some pieces that had to be pieced because I didn't actually have a width of fabric for it, so I had to cut like an extra strip and then sew it together. But I still need to cut another whole full hashtag square. So I need to cut the 3 of these, this 1, 2, and 3 of those. And you need to cut those at, when you put your ruler up against the edge here, you want it as 2 1/4. All right. Now all the measurements are in the link below of what the cutting fabrics that you need. So I don't want to mess anybody up by saying the wrong thing. So I'm just going to send you to the link below to make sure you have all your cutting for your fabrics. It gives you different suggestions for blues and greens, and a different way for this quilt to come out, and also a different way if you want to do it like I am, busting your stash. So I'm just trying to make my fabrics fit the pieces that I need, and it takes a little bit more work, but really I think it looks really nice. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. All right, so we need to cut 3 more at 2 1/4 this strip that I put together, okay? So there's 1. And we'll do our last hashtag block and put our gray one together. And that's part 1. I'm very excited. I believe it's the triangle. There's a bit of paper piecing or template piecing or something like that on that one. So, and we'll do that on next Friday. We will. Okay, so, and I flipped and flopped my blocks. I noticed that if you're doing it in solid color, they had them all the same way, so that like all these longer strips were the same direction. I flipped and flopped mine, as you can see. So I'll give you just a moment so you can see that, how I flipped and flopped them to make it what I wanted, right? So you have that option. It's your project. And here's some other little strips that I have left over from the orange, and be able to fiddle and faddle whichever ones I wanted to make those 2 long strips for it. So, all right, let's put this one here, that one there, this one here. And I like the fishy. I really like the fishy fabric. It's one of my favorite fabrics. And that's I think that's the last of it. I may have a little tiny triangle somewhere, but I think we got it in here. Fishies are going this way, and then fishies are going that way. And I think I like the fishies going the other way. Let's mix and match. We can, so why not? And I think I like that one. Actually, you know what? Let's do a solid. I've tried to stay away from solids. I've tried to do as patterned as much as possible, but without being saturated with one specific color, like, or this one specific orange pattern, you kind of have to bit of a mix and match. So I think I have one little strip of solid down here, and then it'll be this one little strip of solid here, and that's going to be on the other side of the gray block. So that'll be okay. That'll be okay. So let's sew that together. We want to make sure we have 3 of those with the fabric pieces, and then these are 2 by 8 3/4, and they go in between to help make that hashtag. Okay, so we can just put a couple pins in there to make sure we're all staying together. I'm trying to be as square as possible. You have to make sure that your seam allowances on your blocks, looks like I might be a little bit shy on that one. Hold on, let's do that one again. Looks like I might have been a little bit shy on that 1/4 inch seam allowance. Yeah, there we go, a little bit better on that one. And it's amazing how that just a little bit makes a big difference. So, all right, so let's sew that down. Pop the pin out. There we go. We hope everybody had a fantastic week. First week of May, really. So, can't believe Sunday's going to be Mother's Day already. That was fast. And then we're going to take our other little strip right here. We're going to line it right up underneath. And put a little pin on either section to make sure we're going to stay nice and squarish. Okay. And then sew on down. And this is a great way to showcase, maybe you only have a tiny little strip or this tiny little leftover bit from a binding, or, you know, of strip piecing or whatever, that you just, one little piece. And this is a great way to showcase those awesome colors that you have in your collection, right? Like, we work hard. We work hard at this collection of fabric. Don't let anybody tell you different, man. It's hard work. Oop. All right, okay, he went really under there. All right, find a new pin. Whoops. All right, line that one up. All right, and then our last little piece right here, which of course it'll be very much looking like the first piece once we line it up. Okay, and then that's our little orange hashtag. And it's so far, I've read over a few of the patterns because we have them all there listed for us now. So if you wanted to progress and move on with this, and this is what you want to focus on, then go for it. I'd love to see your posts on our guild website at www.wesewit.com. You know, come join us there, and you're happy to share your progress and what colors you're using for your quilt along, your hashtag quilt along, not this first one. Isn't that cute? All right. And then we'll give that a nice press, and then we'll place it in the way that we want it. We'll probably be putting it this way. Like I said, I wanted the fish going that way, so they're swimming on the bottom row, which is fine by me. And then we'll put our gray one together here too. So again, there with our solids in between, making the hashtag. There's lots of fabric allotments, like what you need for what each color, so you can maybe kind of get a rough idea when you're pulling stuff from your own stash and you want to, you know, bust it a little scrappy style like I am. You kind of have an idea of how much you're going to need. So I did grab a few handfuls, and this is kind of what I have left over, which I'm fine with, because it gives me the opportunity of possibly thinking of some sort of a border, and like a nice little border for it. Like, why not, right? Okay, so we're just going to press that, get a little finger pressed, and then we'll line up our other one. Okay. And if you find things are a little shifty, then you go ahead and pin them in place. I'm very much looking forward to the next one. I think it's the pinks. So, add our little strip on top. There we go. Let's line it up nicely there. Just pop it right underneath the machine. Keep a 1/4 inch seam allowance the whole way through. And there's lots of tools and aids to help you figure out what a 1/4 inch is to you if you just have a regular foot like I do. I just have with a regular foot, no fanciness going on there. You can use your little measuring tape and then put either masking tape or painter's tape or some sort of non-sticky tape. I certainly wouldn't use like duct tape or Gorilla tape or anything like that, but you can definitely put it on your machine, lining it up where you need it to be to give yourself a consistent 1/4 inch seam allowance. And that will definitely help in your projects, all of them, whatever you're working on. And, you know, if you happen to go from quilting to clothing one day and then all of a sudden you realize, oh, they don't work in a 1/4 inch seam allowance, they work in usually a 5/8 seam allowance, well, I can just change my ruler space to that, or the tape space to that, and there you go. Just pick it up, move it over. All right. There's our gray, which is the accent. They have you as there's one on each row. Whatever shape that you were doing, you're doing one of those shapes in gray. Or like it's the circle or one of the squares, or like again one here, one of the hashtags. So it's fun. It's fun actually. I think it's really kind of neat. All right, let's move our little collection here so you can see it. And let's press our 2 new blocks that we have going on here. And then we're going to sew our background fabric, which is the little sashing in between, and finish up our row. And then we're ready to start busting our pink. I believe it's pink. If I'm mistaken, I'm sorry. I got so excited for the next one. Okay, so that's how we already got our sashing in there, and I want to make sure that this is turned this way to still keep coincide with the way I've got the main part of the hashtag, the long lines of the hashtag flipping and flopping. So we wanted to make sure we put a background fabric on this side, and then this one, it can go this way. Oh, actually, there we go. I like that. It's going the opposite direction. There, perfect. And then we'll put another one on that side. Okay, so let's sew these two, and then we'll sew it to this, which is our row. So this is actually a fairly big quilt. It's going to be 70 by 90 when done. And we did this as a custom quilt for Miss Allison Johnson. When she sent hers here to the quilt shop, I did a custom quilt on. I just went around everything and just tried to make those beautiful, beautiful colors and the shapes that were so, you know, hard to make. Not saying hard to make, but, you know, that was the main focus of it. These shapes that really stand out. So, and it turned out amazing. And then from there, pretty much, I really wanted to do one because I really fell in love with it as I was quilting it and looking at it. And I'm like, this is so pretty. I love all the shapes. I love shapes. I love color and a way to bust my fabrics. And as I was thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, we could do this in this color, and we could do that in that color, or mix and match. And there's a way. Where there's a will, there is a way. All right, so now we're going to add those two. Oops, put them there. Those two together, and then those two to the row. And that should equal approximately 70 inches. Okay. And we'll do that measurement as soon as we're finished. Just to make sure we were kind of on scale, on par to everything. We may have made a mistake somewhere, but that's okay. If we made it, we can fix it. That's what the seam ripper's for. Okay, and then sew this onto here. And this is the proper space for this one. It goes different, a different spot on each row, the accent gray color. And I think it just really adds to the quilt. I think it's a beautiful, beautiful idea. And if you're not subbed to the Sugaridoo channel, please do so. She's quite lovely. She's in the Netherlands. There we go. Isn't that awesome? Let's give that a little press. And then we'll give it a measure. Okay. And a great way to showcase some of your little bits and bobs you just didn't quite know what to do with. You only need 2 inches by like 2 1/4 for these little sections right here if you wanted to really bust them out. Yeah, isn't it gorgeous? All right, here, let's put it in half, and then we'll put it up to the table, and it should be about 35. Ooh, actually 30, I got about 30, so 72. I got about 72, but that's okay. That's okay. Is that beautiful? All right, thank you everybody for watching, liking, and subscribing. We greatly appreciate you here. Check us out on Saturdays at 1 p.m. Eastern for our live stream. We're still continuing our big, huge Dresden rainbow flower. We start on green tomorrow, so I'm very excited by that. Big hugs to you, and we'll see you real soon.